We've waited some time to write this review simply because you can't really judge a game like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War based on how it plays on launch week. Still, how do you review a game that hasn't even launched its first season, that has fully integrated into a free-to-play battle royale mode yet? You can't. We'd argue it's not the complete game quite yet. In this review, we'll discuss the Cold War campaign multiplayer integration into Warzone and Season 1 content as a parameter for future seasonal content. In this case, we'll start with the campaign. We really enjoyed the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War campaign. This I can say without equivocation, it's a solid, exciting campaign with some interesting twists and turns, a trippy ending or endings based on your choices and how many times you played through the campaign, and some cool puzzles to solve. The game takes place in the 1980s. You play as a couple different characters depending on the mission, but primarily you are a character whose gender, backstory, and so forth you create yourself. And it turns out you're quite the enigma. I won't spoil the details. Suffice to say, nothing is as it seems. The final act is Black Ops at its weirdest and most inventive. The campaign story focuses largely on your boss, Russell Adler, and his pursuit on Soviet spy Perseus. Familiar faces like Frank Woods and Alex Mason return to the fold, and you'll play some missions as Mason, though these are just side missions. The campaign isn't long, but you'll likely have to play some missions more than others to gather evidence, which is used in a pair of puzzles that are required to complete in order to complete the side missions the correct way. These puzzles are actually quite good and can't simply be looked up online to solve. Suffice to say, we absolutely love solving these, and their addition to the campaign makes it that much better. These aren't simply puzzles like you might find in an Uncharted game either. They really make you think. Hopefully we see much more of these in future Call of Duty games. Like we said before, the campaign isn't long, maybe 7 to 8 hours depending on your skill level, how much time you spend searching for evidence, and exploring the difficulty settings you select. Part of the course, when it comes to the franchise, is the campaign as good as 2019's Modern Warfare? We think so. Actually, we'd rank them fairly neck and neck. It even includes at least one character from the Modern Warfare universe, as these two franchises grow ever closer. Now let's get into the multiplayer. Where the two games, Modern Warfare and Cold War, wildly diverge is in multiplayer. They are simply nothing alike, for better or worse. There will be those who prefer Cold War over Modern Warfare and vice versa, and fair be it from us to say which one is objectively better than the other. Gunplay is better in Modern Warfare, the sound effects of guns being fired, the oomph you feel when they're fired, all contribute to a more satisfying gunplay experience. In a game largely about running around shooting other players, this is paramount. Cold War, even after some improvements, still feels floaty and its guns sound tiny by comparison. Graphically, Modern Warfare's multiplayer is leaps and bounds better than Cold War. The latter is more colorful, which is nice, and its aging engine shows. One can debate other points. Cold War doesn't have mounting guns, which may lead less to camping. We don't have a preference. We can't open or bust through doors in Cold War either. That's neither here nor there as far as we are concerned. We really like Cold War's soundtrack, which includes some fun synth tracks. We also like that you have the option to vote on maps again. Map designs is hit and miss across both games, but Activision has divided its live service Call of Duty franchise into separate entries each year instead of just one game ever evolving with new campaigns and multiplayer options a la Destiny 2. Split screen is a major issue in Black Ops games in general and is absolutely garbage once again in Cold War. It's honestly become somewhat insulting at this point to all Call of Duty gamers who enjoy playing couch co-op or modes like the excellent 2v2 gunfight. We do like the Cold War as a faster, more arcadey entry into the series. Cold War feels much less like a military simulation game and much more like a video game, if that makes sense. It's speedier and less realistic, even without double sprint. This can be fun in some ways. The floater gunplay works with the movement style, and in the end, much of it will come down to taste. What to say about the skill-based matchmaking? This is the hot topic on many game forums. We find it to be a non-issue in Call of Duty. Many players seem to simply regurgitate what their favorite streamers say, and we've found that most matchmaking seems to be just fine. And now we move on to the Warzone. We admire Activision's move to free maps, seasonal content, and a premium battle pass. It means the community is less divided as new maps are released since nobody has to pay for them anymore. On the other hand, the integration of Cold War into Warzone and the summary scrubbing of Modern Warfare, which has been made nigh invisible since Cold War's launch, despite being one of the biggest hits in the series, is a complete disaster. For one thing, Warzone plays just like Modern Warfare. The game was designed by Raven Software and Infinity Ward in tandem with Modern Warfare on the same engine with the same mechanics, so you can double sprint, mount guns, and so forth. Movement is the same as Modern Warfare. Moving from Black Ops Cold War to Warzone is jarring. The two games are nothing alike, and yet we've made Cold War and Warzone share battle passes, weapons, and all the rest. What's the alternative? Well, Activision and Treyarch could have gone multiple routes. They could have released an updated Blackout Battle Royale game that was free to play just like Warzone. Maybe they just didn't want two competing free to play Battle Royales, but we're not sure that would have been an actual problem. Fans of Black Ops would play Blackout, fans of Modern Warfare would play Warzone. Both could have their own battle pass / seasonal system, and both could make money while each would retain its distant playstyle, mechanics, and so forth. Or Treyarch could create a live service, free-to-play Zombies game instead, and tie each Black Ops entry into that, leaving Battle Royale to Modern Warfare. Zombies is one of the most popular aspects in the Black Ops series, and a free-to-play Zombies game that kept growing and expanding with the new seasonal content over the years could be a huge hit. Either way would be better than what has happened instead. The premature death of Modern Warfare and the awkward, messy intertwining of Cold War and Warzone. That being said, we're not entirely critical. We love the new Rebirth Island map. It is much smaller than Verdansk, and the new modes like Resurgence are great fun. We also like being able to play with our Cold War operators in the Warzone engine and use the Cold War guns in the Warzone engine, which are much superior, thus making it the best way to play Cold War, ironically enough. But other players might prefer how Cold War plays, which is absolutely fine, and would probably love a Battle Royale that played just like it. So why not just release a free-to-play Blackout and have both options for players? Modern Warfare / Warzone could have an ongoing season and a battle pass, so could Black Ops / Blackout, and players could choose to play either or and purchase or not purchase battle passes for each other. Each game would have a distinct feel. If a third game from Sledgehammer is in the works, we could still have a third free-to-play Battle Royale to accompany it, replete with seasonal content and battle passes. Imagine a new World War II game or Advanced Warfare game that is also a Battle Royale. That would be terrific! So finally, we are at our verdict. Overall, we very much enjoyed Cold War. We are glad Treyarch finally stepped away from the double jumping and wall running we hated so much in Black Ops 3 and 4 with a burning passion, and we are more than happy to return to a more traditional Call of Duty format. Boots on the ground is a part of that, but we think just having every player have the same access to weapons and streaks and so forth is just as important. We also like, at least in theory, the score streak system in play here. Kill streaks reward kills, but score streaks reward all types of play. Not losing a streak when you die is a nice padding for less amazing players. But we still wish they would reward objectives higher in the system and on the leaderboard. But why even have a score streak system when kills count so much higher? We get just as many, if not more, kill streaks in Modern Warfare, which ironically overall reward objectives play more. Graphically and mechanically, we think in this case it is a 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But we find ourselves enjoying the different type of play more and more as we play it. It's a nice change of pace from the slower, more realistic play in Modern Warfare. If the two games weren't both linked to Warzone and we could continue to enjoy Modern Warfare content, we think we'd be much happier with Cold War overall. Still, it's not a bad effort. The campaign is a blast and quite unique for Call of Duty, though not that weird for Black Ops more specifically. And multiplayer is a lot of fun if you don't need split screen, which is irredeemably and inexclusively broken. If you're a fan of Black Ops games, we'll think you'll enjoy this one a lot. But if you prefer Modern Warfare, I suspect you'll like it less. It's good, but not great. With that being said, we settle on an overall rating of 7.5 out of 10. This concludes our Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War review. Make sure you check out GamersOutpostLLC.com and check us out on Facebook at Gamers Outpost LLC. Until the next review, guys, I am Reuben, and I hope you guys take care and you play on.